What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Make sure you share the video. Today, we got a brother on. He had hit me up because I had talked about the DC clash with the Crips in federal prison. He was a little bit pissed off when he emailed me, said I didn't report the story correctly, which I didn't report the whole story because I didn't have enough time to do everything into a little, time frame of 30 minutes. But anyway, I'm bringing this brother on from DC's from the Chocolate City. He spent many years of his life in federal prison, and he knows some of the brothers that are locked up behind that wall from DC. So we'll let him tell his story because he can tell it better than I can. Nook, tell the people who you are, where you're from, and talk a little bit about you.
Well, they call me Nook. I'm from Washington, D.C., Northeast, Saratoga Avenue. I've been back and forth like 19 to 20 years of my life in prison. I started out, came in at 16 going on 17. I started out over DC jail. From DC jail, I went from DC jail to Upper Marlboro, from Upper Marlboro to MCTC Hagerstown. I went from Hagerstown to the Cut, from the Cut to the Annex MCIJ Cumberland, from Cumberland, Southern Maryland, then started my fed time. I went to Atlanta, then went to Lewisburg. From Lewisburg, USP Lewisburg, I went to USP Big Sandy. From USP Big Sandy, I made it to an FCI, out the hole. They sent me to McKean. I lasted in McKean like 5 months. Went to USP Canaan. From USP Canaan to USP Hagerstown.
You've been around, brother. You've definitely been in a bunch of places, right?
Yeah.
You said you were in McKean for only 5 months. What happened in McKean?
Down in McKean, a guy had came on a yard from Southeast that was wicked. So how they used to do it at McKean, it's different from the USPs and the FCIs. How they used to do it at McKean was whatever building you in, they appoint you that building. The homies appoint you that building. So like if something happened, the homies come holler at you, let you know. You know what I'm saying? So you could tell the rest of the homies. So a guy had came on a yard that was hot. And, we one of the cities that don't play that hot shit. So when a dude came on a unit, I was gonna bust him. I was gonna blow him up. But one of the young homies was like, man, you just got up here, and they ain't gonna give you another chance, let us handle it. So when I hollered at my other homie, Chaz or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Free Chaz too, because he back in. But when I hollered at Chaz was like, let them handle it because you just got up here. So when they went in there, they still, whooped them and, did them in. So how they did them in, the SIS, that's like the, investigators, you did time. They still came. I went to work out that morning. They still came and grabbed me. So when they came and grabbed me, they said that I ordered a hit or some shit. So they put me in a hole on investigation. So while I was in the hole on investigation, they was running my phone calls back, and they said that I was trying to get stuff in. So they gave me an introduction. So they gave me that and an introduction. They sent me out. They sent me to USP Canaan.
I want to talk a little bit about our communication, right? Because when I spoke about Mario, I had read some stuff from his case that was actually in the case docket about the bicycle. There was more involved in Mario's case. I mean, they ended up getting a big RICO case, and there was a bunch of murders in that case and all of that type of stuff. And that kind of pissed you off that I was like, hey, he got life for a bicycle. But I wanted people to know that my point was that, hey, look, man, sometimes we make bad decisions over nothing, right? But of course, he had the other case, and I didn't talk about it, and I should have. So I'll correct the record. But tell the people a little bit about that case, man.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little bit before I was doing time, but I've been around a couple dudes that's on that case, and the way it sounded, like it made it like he was kind of petty, like it sounded like he just did some heathen type, killed a dude over a bicycle. So that's when you put stuff out there like that, they already look at it like they try to take anything about DC and they run with it. You know what I'm saying? The smallest thing, or they on ass, they smoke water, so on and so forth. But they don't say that. A lot of it's a lot of us in the feds. So that's why they see, a lot of dudes engaging in some of that stuff. But a lot of them guys came in at young ages. Like most of the guys that's in the feds, they caught fed cases. They was older. A lot of guys from DC came in at 14, 15, 16 with life sentences. Like, me per se, I don't agree with the homosexuality, but, a lot of them dudes, they was young when they came in. So it's like, they run with that. You know what I'm saying? They take that, they run with that. Oh, you know what I'm saying? They'll say that out of 500 of us, maybe 10, might have boys. You know what I'm saying? Because, they don't see a lot of boys in the yard anyway. So it's like, even if it's more, if it's 30 or 40, it's still 500 of us on the yard.
Yeah, I mean, I say that all the time. Like, man, I met a lot of dudes from DC that were good dudes. Men respect men. And, I mean, like, I don't agree with that stuff either, but, they go in there at 16 and, I think you had wrote something in the email about, these dudes don't even know what it's like to be with a woman because they went to jail at 16 and this is all they know. They end up with life sentences and that's all they know. So you guys get a bad rep, for 10, 15 people out of 500. And, people that haven't been to prison, they don't know that big picture. They don't know that there's 800 DC dudes on this yard or 500 DC dudes on this yard. And, these dudes are the dudes that are doing that. Whatever they do, they do. But, not to stay on that, but I want to talk a little bit about, Mario, right? So he wasn't just in there for a petty ass crime like a bicycle. He had he was in there. He was, according to the government, he was a killer, right? I mean, that's what the government says. We're not going to say that, but that's what the government says. And he gets into it with this CRIP kid. The CRIP kid was a big dude, I heard. I think he was from Tennessee. Mario put them hands on him. Mario, he's a fighter. He's a knockout artist, man, for real. And, the kid comes back. He kills Mario. I know a lot of people are upset. People in D.C. are upset. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think there's going to be any backlash against the Crips? I mean, are the D.C. dudes just going to sit down? Like, yo, do whatever you want?
Me per se, I know when we was in the Fed, it'd have been retaliation. I mean, it's like I said, it's a different breed now. A lot of them dudes don't really know like the Marios and Tone just came home. I got a chance to meet Tone. You know what I'm saying? And I used to hear so much about him. So that was kind of blessing. And a lot of stuff that I used to hear, he's real aggressive. We used to walk the yard every day. You know what I'm saying? And he taught me a lot. You know what I'm saying? He opened my eyes for a lot of stuff. So it's like even with Mario, me and Mario was in Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't see when you be around dudes, I always get my own opinion on them. Like I don't care what type of name you have or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got dudes with names that when I see them, I see flaws and stuff. But with them dudes, it was different. Like they was more so Mario was hearing about the situation that happened in Lewisburg with the New York guys. So he was kind of trying to tighten me up and talk to me about that. With Tone, Tone was more so. He was more so trying to get in touch with the streets and what was going on in society because he wanted to push his clothing line and stuff like that. So it's like when we was in the Fed, it would have been retaliation, because them dudes. We don't have no shot callers, you know what I'm saying? But them dudes on the forefront, they was kind of the faces. Even the administration, they'll look at them like if something happened, they go grab them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they wasn't shot callers, but they definitely was leaders, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, if when we were there, yeah, it would have been retaliation. Now, I know a lot of guys that's in the Fed still, but it's like a lot of the younger guys don't know Mario. You know what I'm saying? They don't know Tone. They know them unless they've been spat with them. So, in that spot, yeah, I don't think they're gonna let that go. But as far as all over the Feds, I don't know. I know when we was in the Feds, if a lot of guys came home, so they released on that First and Second Chance Act. So, I think. Now, I think it might still go down that spot, but I don't think it's going to go over. I don't know if it's going to go over everywhere. I don't know.
I'm sure there's plenty of DC dudes that want some revenge.
Yeah, a lot of the older guys, they not going, that's not going to sit right with them. That's not going to sit well with them, But like I said, the times change. the younger guys, man, it's like now, it's different. Everything is like for fame, man. You know, if it's not broadcast, they not really trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of different. We did stuff for survival. Did stuff for structure. Now it's like they do stuff to be known about it.
Let me ask you this. I know you briefly spoke about the New York car and the DC car. There was something happened in Lewisburg while you were there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was what 2008. 2008. Two of the homies, man, they was in the wrong. They know they was in the wrong. When we went to Hove, they knew we was wrong. But 2008, two of the homies, one of them, I don't know if he didn't like. We was on the same, we was in A block, and I guess he didn't like the New York guy or whatever. I don't know, because they used to deal with each other. They was selling before, but after a while, I guess when he moved out of Selwood, maybe just wasn't seeing eye to eye. So, two of the homies went down there and they bagged him. They robbed him. So when they robbed him, he was from upstate New York, but his celly was from New York City. So he was from Rochester, but his celly was from Brooklyn. So when he went and told all the New York guys, everybody at the TV room, you know what I'm saying? They don't even really know what's going on. Like all the DC guys in the TV room, they don't know what's going on. So the New York guys was mobbing up on the third floor. If you have been in Lewisburg, it's like the tiers on top of each other. Yeah. So we in the TV room. The TV room is like a fourth floor basically. They on the third floor mobbed up. So we had a homie, Calico. They went and told Calico because a lot of the guys were familiar with him. So they went and told them or whatever. So they told a lot of the homies or whatever what was going on or whatever, and they were down and they kind of alleviated because it was a New York guy that caught his case out. DC was down Lawton and all that. Did a lot of time, but he used to deal with them. So he was trying to alleviate it because he messed with DC. He did all the time. He basically been in DC since he was 16. But
are you talking about Bush Boogie?
Bush. You say it again?
Bush Boogie with the beard. He was Muslim from New York, but been in DC all his life.
Yeah. So
I was with Boogie in Lee County. Good dude, phenomenal dude.
So he basically tried to get everybody together to squash it. So this is like a old prison movie. You know how you have one gang at a gang of dudes at the end of the tier, and you got another gang at the end, like American Me. It looked like something like that. So the two that robbed him and one of the homies, they walked in the middle of the tier to meet up with the New York guy, which was the two cellies that got robbed. And I forgot the guy named from Syracuse. So they meet up in the middle of the tier to talk about it. So they asked the guy the New York guy what he want to do about it. So he was like, basically, he wasn't really trying to do about it. So they told him, all right, well, you gonna go up top or whatever, and that's all, we're gonna leave that like that since you don't want to do nothing about it, because they were trying to get them to see each other one-on-one. So when they said that, the New York guy popped off on the DC guy. So when he popped off on DC guy, man, shit just started going AWOL. Like people started whipping out knives, mother was running the cell. So a couple dudes got stabbed. And I got a homie, I just talked to him this morning too. I got a homie, he had got hit across the face with a razor. What he did, he chased one of the New York guys in the cell. But when he ran up in the cell, it was 3 New York guys in the cell. He still ran in the cell trying to stab the guy. Because one of the New York guys was real tight with us. So I guess he didn't think he was going, I don't know what he was thinking for real. I wouldn't have did no stuff like that, but he ran up in the cell and the guy spit the razor out and hit him across the face. So once the smoke cleared, everybody got to lock it in and stuff. They came in there with the guns, made everybody get on their knees and stuff, walked everybody to the cell. No, before they did that, they didn't do it yet. everybody got it spreading out. So everybody like talking, mobbing up. So the guy that got hit across the face, he comes in the cell and he's telling everybody like, man, look, like I hit. So his face open. Like all this is like white meat and is bleeding real bad. So one of the homies, good friend of mine, whatever, he home now too. That's Pug co-lieutenant. He was kind of upset, because he come up on that old law, so he like, he want to smoke. So he like, man, look, don't go to the medical. Don't go to medical. You know what I'm saying? We gonna turn this motherfucker back up. So while he telling that, I guess the homie felt like he felt like his face was bleeding too bad. Like I guess he was hurt real bad because he didn't know, you know what I'm saying, if it hit a vein or anything. So he tried to go to medical. He tried to put a towel on his face and slide the medical and say he injured himself out of the yard. And when he did that, they came in there with the guns, locked everybody down, and they started locking people up, sending them to hole.
What was it like for you to see that, man? I mean, how old were you when that all happened?
I was 23, I think.
When you see this,
23 or 24.
I've seen people get hit with razors, right, in New York State prison. I mean, when you seen that, I mean, were you like, damn? Did it mess you up?
Nah, it did. See, it's like I guess it's kind of different for us, like in DC. Like down here, it's kind of different because when you go to DC jail, it's like DC jail, especially back then. Like if you can survive in DC jail on a max bar, you can survive anywhere. I promise you. Like DC jail was like gladiator school. Like really, you got all these different neighborhoods and crews, and back then they didn't separate it. So they just put you all in one unit. They don't know who's beefing with who back then. Wasn't no cameras, and you got 160 people out in one unit. Each unit got 160 people because it's 80 cells. 160 people out, no cameras, 2 COs and 1 sergeant. You gotta watch 160 people. So it's like so much used to happen out of jail. Like the biggest transition for me during time was leaving the juvenile block, going to the Mac block over DC jail. That was a big transition because my first day, like first morning, doors pop at like 8 o'clock. First morning, I gotta get blow up. Like they bust a dude. Then a little bit after that, a dude get robbed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you can survive over the jail, I believe that, you know what I'm saying, you can go anywhere, man. If you can go over the jail in the max block.
What'd you end up going to prison?
Like, at that time, I was already like, I'd already been there for like, 5, 6 years. So it's like, it wasn't really shocking to see that.
What did you end up going to prison for?
I had attempt murder, assault with a deadly weapon, reckless endangerment, armed robbery.
What was your sentence?
It was 10 years, 10 years in Maryland and 8 years in DC.
10 years, so a total of 18 years altogether.
Yeah, but Maryland, the reason why you don't do that, because Maryland, you have to do 65%. So, you know what I'm saying? Feds is 85%, but Maryland was 65%. So
let me say this, because there'll be dudes in the comments, man, might be like, oh, man, dude's DMV, man, he ain't from D.C. I mean, you're from D.C.
Nah, listen. Ain't nobody gonna say that, bro. Ain't nobody gonna say I'm from that DMV.
No, I just want to make sure, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure.
Ain't nobody gonna say no damn DMV, man.
Let me ask you this. You did time back then, man, when federal prison was a dangerous place. It was serious. It's still dangerous, but I think it was more dangerous back then, right? I mean, What was some of the craziest things you've ever seen in there?
The craziest thing I ever heard, not seen because it was next door to me, but I get to see it with my own eyes. I was in MCTC Hagerstown, and I was like 18 there. And I had went to the hole for... we had the Baltimore and DC beef had kicked off or whatever, and I wound up stabbing a guy from Baltimore. So I went to the hole. So I'm in the hole, and your first shot, your first offense ever, they give you 60 days, but they give you 30 days for the night. So I had 90 days. So there was a guy from Eastern Shore. He slept next door to me, and he was in my unit. You know, he used to be cool, but we used to gamble. You know, bet football games and stuff together. So he was in a cell with this. Well, I ain't gonna say the guy's name, but he's in a cell with this butt bandit from Baltimore. And the dude, I guess he ain't no dude with the butt bandit, but I was hearing stories about this dude when I first got, like, I was on 6C tier. They call it the hopper tier. That's where all the younger guys be at before I went to the regular unit. So I was hearing stories about him. They say, don't take nothing from him, you know, all them stories. So he in a cell with the guy. So me and my son talking about it every day, like, man, my son kept saying, man, he gonna try it. So one day, this fool, they playing a game. He tells him, he said, I bet you $100 send out, because you could send money out your account, like a little fake check thing. So he said, I bet you $100 send out that I can tie you up to the bunk and you won't be able to get out of it. So he's like, that you can't. So he let this fool use the strings to the net bags to tie him up to the bunk. He ties him up to the bunk. So he said, try to get out of it. So he's trying to get out of it. But he couldn't get out of it. So he said, man, all right, man, let me lose. You got it. I seen the $100. He wound up raping him. So he raped. Whole time, I wake up to this nigga screaming. So he's screaming the whole, like, it's like 3 in the morning. They feed breakfast like maybe 4. So it's like 3 in the morning. So I just remember, like, that was the worstest sound and shit I ever heard in my life. Like, he's screaming like hell, like he's screaming for his life. You know, and I didn't know what the hell. I thought he was over there, like, stabbing him or something. But the whole time, he was in there raping him.
Wow, things.
But I've seen a lot of wild stuff. Though. I mean, I've seen a dude get his throat slit. I've seen a dude get his throat slit down the cut. Shit. Most of the times when I've seen dudes die, though, it wasn't even like gruesome. Like a dude got stabbed down over the jail or whatever. He got hit one time. You know what I'm saying? He died. You know. Just now, recently, I was just in Marlboro, a dude got killed, or whatever. But you know, they was pushing 1-on-1. You know what I'm saying? Like I just seen a lot of people. Let me know in time. I seen a lot of people die. You know, or was in the prison when they died. Like the dude, Whitey Bulger. I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? In the unit, I was in Hazleton, but I wasn't in the unit when he died. But a lot of people died while I was in the jail, but I didn't see a lot of them. But I done seen all the ones I done seen die. Like I didn't think, like we didn't think they was gonna die. They got hit one time and you know what I'm saying, died and stuff.
It happens like that a lot. It's
no. The gruesome stuff. Big Sandy, UST Big Sandy. February 2011, the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh was playing Green Bay, and like the last 3 minutes of the game. The
ABTs, Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, Swift.
Yeah, they went in there and they killed one of their own. The dude they killed, he used to come out, he used to play basketball with us. You know what I'm saying? He killed all black people because there wasn't too many white boys playing basketball.
Listen, you might have thought that he died, but I don't think he died. But he was paralyzed. He couldn't talk. He can't eat no more. I know the case. No, he didn't die, but they paralyzed him where he can't walk, he can't feed himself, nothing. And they ended up getting 5 or 6 more years for it. But go ahead.
Yeah, but man, the whole time they went in the cell. That happened in the unit we was at. So they went in the cell and we watching the game. We didn't even hear nothing. They got them real drunk, so got them twisted, and we didn't even hear nothing. So the CO, we had a CO Big Sam. He was cool, whatever. He used to like pull a little bets, gambling on stuff for us. So he's doing his rounds, and when he gets to the cell, he was doing a double because he usually works the day shift. When he gets to the cell, he runs in the office. So they come in, lockdown. So when the guys come out, they all bloody. Like, I think it was 3 of them. It was 3 of them. They all bloody. So they got the door open. He just laid out on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So you sure he ain't died? I thought he died.
I'll find the case and send it to you so you can see it.
Yeah. I mean, he might be right, but yeah, that was the word that he did. Cause we ain't never seen him again. But yeah, he was laid out on the floor. puddle of blood.
And them dudes only got 5 or 6 years, I think 57 months, and they paralyzed the dude. They were jumping on top of his neck, on his head. Yeah. He was drunk. They beat him. They beat him to death. Huh?
Didn't he get stabbed like 30 sometimes?
They stabbed him, jumped on his head, jumped on his neck. He didn't die though, surprisingly. Yeah. But like you said, a lot of people die, just one shot. It's the guys you see get stabbed 15, 20, 30 times. You're like, damn, that dude lived. And it's the dude that gets hit that one time that always dies. It seems that way, right?
Yeah, I think my homie Yank, I think he got hit like once or twice, and he died. I know my homie Big O, Zero died of Big Sandy. He got hit like once, but he got hit in the neck. And he got hit like once, maybe twice at the most.
Didn't Rob?
You gotta look at the hospitals, like they so far away from them joints that, sometimes by the time they get to the hospital, they can bled out.
It's a wild, wild life, man. How long have you been free?
60 days.
Oh, you only been out 60 days?
Yeah.
What's life like walking out of there?
Just now I got released out of Marlboro, so man, it wasn't that. I went back in, but when I got released from the bed, man, it was different because they had the camper come pick you up and drop you off at the bus stop. The bus train. So when I get dropped off, it's like it's dark out there, and like people just walking around. So it's like it feels funny because you're coming out of prison off a mountain and you free, but in your mind it's like you still caged in. Like you don't even know. Like I'm sitting in the car. He's like, "All right, you can leave." I'm like, "You sure?" Like I'm thinking I'm gonna get in trouble with some shit. I'm gonna get a write up or something. So I'm like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah. You go ahead, go whatever. You got your bus ticket and schedule and stuff, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I go outside. I get out the van. I'm just right there waiting. So I wanted to walk to the store, but I was so scared to walk to the store. Like I didn't even want them to think I'm in a hick town. Like it's all white people and stuff. So I ain't want to walk to the store. They think I'm trying to do anything. So I just stayed right there and waited, whatever. But it's a big like transition from coming out of them penitentiaries and then going home. Like it do something to you mentally for real. Like a lot of stuff like I still do like that. Like I always flush. I constantly flush. When I first came home, I was getting in the shower with shower shoes. I'm getting showers. But I got out of that though. But it's a lot of things like, and then it give you PTSD like I don't know what. Like it's like I watch the mirrors. I watch sceneries. But in a way, it kind of helps you out. Because sometimes I see stuff before it happens. Like in society, like I see something going to happen before it happens. So sometimes you got to think for people. Out here. So in a way, it gives you structure, but it messes you up mentally too, though, because it gives you PTSD, and you don't trust a lot of people. It's kind of hard to trust, And then they like some programs. They keep saying they get all these money for these programs that they supposed to help you when you come home, but they don't do it. Like it sounds good when they in there, but then when you come home. Even out in DC, they really, like a lot of programs, it's like they stand to get money off it and they don't help you at all. Like some of the drug programs, they supposed to like follow up with, they don't do it. Anger management programs, only time they really follow up on certain stuff and help, they make you do the classes, but then they don't help a lot of people after that.
Let me ask you this, you got a job yet?
Yeah, I got a job.
What are you doing?
I work with disability with a company called Epic Life.
Do you enjoy doing that or no?
Yeah, I enjoy doing it. I feel like I ain't gonna say that's what I really want to do, but I got a passion for it because I had my grandmother. She was in a nursing home, and I remember she would always tell us to get out of the nursing home. She didn't like it because they was treating her bad. And, when I started working with this company, I started to see like some of the, some people like treat them different. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't look at them like they have disabilities and stuff, like because any of us can have a stroke or have a heart attack or something, then we don't come back the same or get shot. Like, I've been shot, you know what I'm saying? I was a cone and all that. Like, it was a chance that I might have came back the same. So,
let me ask you this: you gonna stay out the streets?
Yeah. I don't like. I'm not in the streets no more for real. Like, I deal, I deal with who I deal with, but I don't, I'm not really in the streets though. Like that, the game is already it's different. It's over with. Like, everything is broadcast. You can't really do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then the stuff that you do, like, once you get to a certain level, somebody trying to snake you out. If they're not trying to snake you out, they're gonna tell on you when they get bagged for the smallest thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's too many risks now. Back then, you just had to worry about the stick up boys sometimes and the police. Now you gotta worry about the cameras, the ring, the doorbell cam, the police, your man, your sister.
So it's a game. It's a game that if you get involved in, you're pretty much gonna lose, right? 99% of the time.
At the end, for real.
Not a lot of winners in the game anymore.
Nah, it's kind of hard to succeed in the streets now and be successful. After a while, damn, like, there should be so many people beefing. Like, the youngins, it's like it's no structure no more. Like, even with the young guys, like, you could be a guy's friend, but he's from another neighborhood, and say his friend and your friend is sleeping with the same girl. They get the beefing. Now, they whole neighborhood feel like they got to beef with this whole neighborhood over a female that we not even hitting. Y'all beefing about this female, but now these whole neighborhoods is beefing, and then they put it on YouTube or put it on Instagram, and now when they see each other at the stores, the malls, anyway, they feel like they got to do something because everything is broadcast. Like, it's goofy. Like, I don't even understand how everything, like, changed like this. Like, how's the world like how it is? Like, it's real goofy, man. And I guarantee you, if they say they want to stop the violence, shut social media down. I guarantee you the violence go all the way down.
They ain't never gonna stop social media. But listen, before we get ready to go, you went to prison as a young man. There's a lot of young DC dudes out there, man, on the wrong path. What message would you have for them dudes?
Man, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, man. Like, at the end, man, you come home you go in at 16, 17, 18, come home 40, and the guys that was up under you, a lot of them is not gonna have. They're not gonna hold you in high regards like you think you're supposed to be. When you done put in work for this neighborhood and all that, and it's not worth it. Like, it's not like you're gonna come home and they're gonna give you $500,000 for all the work you done put in. Like,
you might not even get five. You might not even get 500.
Yeah. Some might not even get 200. And then they be jealous of how other people look at you because they remember how you was when you were in the streets, and then they trying to, like, start beef with you or turn people against you. It's not working, man. It's goofy.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate you coming on. We cleared up the record a little bit. I mean, whether or not there'll be revenge for Mario's death, I think that depending on who's who and where people are at, Mario was a well-respected dude. He didn't just go to prison for killing a dude over a bicycle. He had a whole bunch of other stuff. He was, I thought he was a pretty good dude when I knew him. He was definitely known as someone that would knock your block off, but he was also respectful most of the time. So, I think that, some of the old school dudes, they might rile up some of the young bucks, and there might be some revenge. Maybe not in every prison in the BOP against the Crips, but I think, man, that dude that, killed Mario, if someone gets a chance to get at him, I think that's probably going to happen eventually.
Yeah. I mean, he should. I'm not telling him to do it, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, like, Mario, like, stood for something. Them guys stood for something, man. They paid the way for guys like me to come in the feds to have it easy and some fast. So.
Well, he was definitely a leader among men. I know you guys don't have shot callers, but there are older dudes, man, that dudes look up to. And I talk about Love and Mia Mai and Mario all the time. Those were the dudes that I knew in there that, the DC car was like, yo, They looked up to them. When there was an issue between the Mexicans and the DC dudes or the whites and the DC dudes, those are the dudes that people talk to, and those were the dudes that worked things out. But anyway, listen, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on, Nook. Hopefully we cleared the record a little bit. You know, I appreciate you sharing your stories, your experiences, dude. And I want to see you stay in the street, man, and live your best life, all right?
I want to say one more thing too, man. Man, they need to tune in, man, in DC, man. We got some artists that be working hard, man, and they don't get the credit they deserve, you know. You got some book writers like Eon, like Bucky Field, you know, Fat Nathan Welch. You know, them, like they don't really give us a lot of credit like we deserve, man. You know, and you got a lot of guys that work hard that's really talented out here. You know, so.
Well, I mean, you mentioned them names. I interviewed Eon, and Kareem's over there doing big things with that Lorton movie. You know, I'd love to see that. I'd like to see that on the big screen all over. That's something that should be everywhere, bro. They should be putting that thing together in Hollywood, man. But again, man, I appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna close the show. Tell people we appreciate you. If you like what you see, man, share the video with respect. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.